Yo, what's good, everyone? Welcome back to week 10 of NCAA college football pick'em, featuring John Meleka, Greg Albert, and Chip Murphy. What up, guys?
What's up, John?
What up,
What's
Chip?
up, John? How you doing, man?
Good, good. Glad to be back. I've been red hot with college football. We are in the best time of the year where there's a football game every single day until I'm pretty sure Thanksgiving, but then the World Cup is going to be on. So there's going to be soccer every single day. And then in between, there's NBA, of course, college football. We got NFL. We got Christmas games. I mean, life is good right now. And the rankings just came out for college football. There's so much to talk about. And it's honestly the best time to bet games for college football for me because the rankings come out, everyone's brain gets warped, and you're just like, what are we talking about? I've been watching this team every single week. So I'm ready to get this going. You guys have any opening thoughts before we get our best bets in?
No, nothing crazy. I'm excited for it. I had my first bad week last week, so I'm hoping you guys can help me out, talk me through a couple games, get back on the right path, and keep it rolling.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's start with the best bets. Chip, why don't you start us off with our first best bet here?
Okay. Yeah, I'll start with the Service Academy game, Army versus Air Force. I
Love it.
think that I
It's a
think that Air
beautiful
Force.
place to start. It's a beautiful
Yeah,
place to start this on this Saturday
yeah,
slate.
exactly. And it also starts early. It starts at 11:30, so it's the first game, which I love. We get football started a little early. I like under. I got it. It's 40 and a half. And I think, they played last year. The total was 19. And 2 years ago, it was 10-7. The unders in Army, Navy, and all of the Service Academy games the totals are low. It's the right move. I think it's going to be, low scoring, obviously quick game. I love these games because they go by fast. And, Army is bad. Yeah, they took a big step back from last year. They're one of the worst rushing defenses in the country. I think Air Force is going to win this game. Yeah, they've given up an average of like 200 plus rushing yards a game. So Air Force should be able to run the ball easy and win. But yeah, I think the under is the right call because I just, it's going to be, as they say with these games every time, possessions will be at a premium. So, how many points can these teams realistically score when they both play a similar offense?
Yeah, so the only issue is Army is 5-2, five being on the over, two being on the unders this year, and I'm pretty sure Air Force is even on them. So I don't know. It's just I agree with you in general. I'm gonna add it to my card because it starts at 11:30, and I have to have something on the 11:30 game, obviously. So I'm probably gonna throw that in a little parlay there just to have it. Greg, any thoughts on this game?
No, Service Academy games being played. I'm taking the under. So 40,
Yeah,
we've seen some unders in 35, 36, 38 this year. 40's a little bit on the higher side for these games, so I love the under in this spot.
I
I'm
see at
definitely
40
taking
and a
it.
half,
40 and a
which
half,
worries
even
me.
better.
I know, but it's actually worrying me that it's going up from 39 and a half up to, all the way to 40 and a half now. So
Yeah.
we'll see. Greg, why don't you give us your first best bet here?
It's a team I've talked about since we did the previews. Kept it rocking most weeks. Talia was out last week, so I didn't take him, but I'm back. He's back. I'm going with Maryland, plus 5.5. What was it, plus 5.5 or minus 5.5?
I
Plus
see it
five
at
and a
plus
half.
four. I see it at plus 4.5.
Plus 4.5? All right, I'll take that. That's fine. Plus 4.5 on the road in Wisconsin. I think the offense has been good. Last week, they kind of really leaned on their running back there against Northwestern. I mean, Northwestern did put up a little bit of a fight, but Henby, I believe is his name, 3 touchdowns, had a great game. I said it in a couple episodes before, the passing attack is good, but they can run the ball too in Maryland. The problem is closing out games. The problem is covering games late in the game. I think there's a couple times this season, like Northwestern didn't score at all in the third quarter, and they scored 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter. That's the stuff that kills you. This week, though, they're getting points. They're going to Wisconsin. I think Wisconsin's in a little bit of a flux right now with what they had going on, firing their coach. So yeah, give me 5.5 points. Give me Maryland on the road. Big Ten game.
All right. I like that. I'm gonna add that to my card. So far, your best bets. I'm gonna throw them in probably in a parlay here, and honestly, probably with this game, which I'm throwing it as my first best bet, and I love it. I'm gonna take them separate, but dude, this feels too easy to me, and it's Memphis at home against UCF. They're getting three and a hook. Yo, I don't understand. I'm a little biased because I love again, they're number 25 in the 25 poll, right? They're excited just to be there. Everyone's gonna be hyped, like, oh, we get, they're ranked versus an unranked team. UCF stinks, and I think Memphis is actually really good. I think Memphis is gonna win this game straight up. So I love the 3.5. Do you guys have any thoughts about this game?
I don't like gambling on UCF games right now.
Yeah.
And I don't trust that line. That's weird to me. Why is UCF favored in that one when, like you said, Memphis is supposedly the better team? It looks like on paper. I don't. That's a weird line.
Yeah, I agree. So that's why I'm sticking with it. Chip, why don't you give us your second best bet here?
My second best bet is Illinois minus 17. We talked about this before. Michigan State is in shambles right now, I think. Yeah, you have the fight in the after the game against Michigan, a bunch of players getting suspended, a bunch of players maybe getting charged. I mean, it's just a disaster there. You had Mel Tucker, when he was walking off the field, punched a fan. They're a complete shit show. And I know 17 points is a lot, but I feel like Michigan State could Illinois could shut Michigan State out, and it could be, 24-21 to nothing. So Illinois' defense is legit. Michigan State's a disaster. They're terrible. And I'm banking on that. I know the under is probably a pretty popular one too, but I like Illinois minus 17.
All right, I'll add that to my card.
Yeah, over unders 40.5. And to your point, Chip, I see 88% of the money, 83% of the bets on the under. I was thinking about the under too. It's also my second best bet of the day, John. I love Illinois. I bet him a few times this year. We talked about him on the last episode, maybe the episode before that. I like Tommy DeVito. I like the defense that they have there. And I just don't know what you're going to be getting from Michigan State. To Chip's point, all the turmoil, all the controversy. You didn't get anything from them last week against Michigan. I think, Michigan's a much better team than Illinois, but still, Illinois giving up 9 points a game. We saw it last week against Nebraska. We're able to shut them down. I don't think Michigan State's a lot worse or a lot better than Nebraska. So, another home game, back-to-back home games for Illinois. 17 points is a lot, but I think they can cover it. I like Illinois as well.
All right, got a double best bet here, and I mean, I've been really hot in college football. I'm ready for the cold shower, and it feels like it's coming this week because I'm taking another game here for my second best bet that feels like a weird line. And it feels like I'm on the Joe, the Joe Schmoes pro, whatever, Joe versus pros. I'm on the Joe side here, and it's Clemson versus Notre Dame. Dude, why is Clemson minus 3.5 at Notre Dame? This should be minus 9.5, and I should be trying to convince myself all day long of why I should take Notre Dame. Like, that's exactly where
Notre Dame looked good against Cuse.
Yeah, but sometimes Cuse just has bad games. Like I don't.
They went into Cuse and pushed him around, and Cuse has injuries. Cuse is missing some good players, but Notre Dame looked good.
Yeah, I think Clemson absolutely rocks Notre Dame. And I have a question. If Clemson wins the ACC, are they automatically in the college football?
I think so.
Initial playoff rankings would suggest that yes, they are. If they run the table, they're in.
Okay. I also if I have to pull back the curtain a little bit, I'm starting to bet North Carolina a lot to win the ACC. So it's at plus 500 right now, and I don't trust this Clemson team at all. I think they're gonna absolutely rock Notre Dame. But I'm telling you guys right now, I got my eye on UNC because Clemson's been fraudulent to me all year long. But again, I love them to kill Notre Dame. Everyone's excited over Notre Dame because they put up a fight against Syracuse, which I mean, you know, take that for what it's worth. I like Clemson. I think they're gonna absolutely rock Notre Dame, and everyone's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, Notre Dame stinks." 5-4.
Yeah, it seems like the right thing. I like Syracuse here -3.5 too. I think that Syracuse is
I'm taking them
great.
first
I
half too.
think that they had a big letdown spot after they played Clemson the week before. Clemson was on a bye last week, so they have an extra week to prepare. I think this is, like you said, John, it's a classic spot where, Notre Dame was great last week on the road. Then they come home to their home fans. It's going to be foggy. It's going to be weird. It's going to be an odd game. But at the end of the day, I think Clemson rolls. And the fact that it's only 3.5, I love it. So, yeah, I'm with you in Clemson -3.5.
All right, why don't you give us our third best bet here, Greg?
Sure, my third best bet of the day. It's got to be the matchup of the week. I mean, it's the game everyone's talking about. The one overall team. I can't believe I'm saying it. Tennessee
Feels like 98.
going to Georgia against the 3 seed Georgia, the third ranked team Georgia. I can't believe Georgia's ranked 3. I really can't.
How are they not number 1, dude? It's insane.
They're the returning champions. We talked about it in the SEC preview. We all picked Alabama. I felt like it wasn't maybe right then because Georgia, again, they lost some players. They lost their great defense, but they're still the defending champions. They're rock solid. They've had an up and down season so far this year, but by an up and down season, it means they've been killing some teams by 40. They've been killing some teams by 10 or 15. They've looked really strong at home, minus 7.5 or 8, depending on where you're looking right now. We'll say 8. I'll take Georgia -8 all day long. I think they absolutely.
I see it at 8.5. Do you care?
8.5? Sure, I'll take that too. That's fine. As long as it's under 10, I think they roll Tennessee here. 90-something% of the money, 91% of the money's on Tennessee with 77% of the bets. I don't care what it feels like. No one should have 90% of the money on Tennessee. That makes absolutely no sense. This is a classic spot where Tennessee just absolutely pukes all over themselves in this point of the season.
Disagree. Last week would have been the
Yeah.
classic Tennessee loss, and they pummeled Kentucky.
We're talking about Kentucky, and now we're talking about Georgia, though.
But last week would have been the classic
That's
Tennessee
true,
loss.
though. Against the inferior, like the less team, look ahead spot. Yeah, I definitely agree. That would have been the chef's kiss of the season if they lost to Kentucky last week for sure. What do you think about this game, Chip?
Oh, well, my third best bet is the Tennessee Volunteers +7.5.
Okay.
So
8.5. It's 8.5.
8.5.
Oh, whatever it is, 8.5, 7.5. I'm taking them for sure. I put a pretty significant bet on them to win the national championship, so I'm all in on Tennessee. I think they're legit. Their offense is incredible, obviously, and look, yeah, Georgia's good. This game is massive, obviously. It's funny because this is the kind of game when they expand the college football playoff, we're not going to be looking at it like we used to, but it's huge. It's going to be fun as hell to watch. And I don't know. I know Georgia's Georgia, and we all look at obviously their Oregon win at the beginning of the year, and we're like, look what they did to Oregon.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Ricochet shots.
No, that's not a knock on Oregon. Oregon's been awesome since then. But yeah, I don't know. There's something about this Tennessee team, I think. And Heupel is obviously a great coach. Hooker is legit. He's the Heisman favorite now. I think they got this offense.
What if they lose?
Really.
What if they lose to Georgia? Is he still a Heisman favorite?
Depends on how he plays, right?
What if he
It
plays
depends
bad?
on.
Which is gonna happen, dude. Let's come back to reality for 2 seconds. I know we get excited. I know we get excited about the number one offense, the number one team. How often does that come through your brain when it comes to football? Oh, the number one offense versus number one defense. Who's going to win? And it's the defense every single time, especially when we're talking about college where they're already limited and they're in Georgia. Like they're in Georgia, man. I don't think you're taking that into account here. There's going to be no orange anywhere.
That's not true. That's not true.
There's going to be orange.
Dude,
Georgia fans are notoriously like not as intense as like Bama fans and Tennessee fans and
This is the number
LSU
one seed. This is
fans.
the number one seed, Chip. This is the national championship at home
I think you're
for
selling
Georgia.
Tennessee fans short. Like there's going to be a lot of
No,
insane Tennessee fans there.
nothing against them. Nothing against them. I don't know. I'm just saying. Listen, that Oregon, that week 0, that game that we're talking about when it wasn't in Georgia, it was. I mean, it was in the state, but it was it wasn't
Oh
in
yeah,
their
yeah.
home. I mean, that building was shaking during Oregon third downs. So that's all I'm saying. I love Georgia
Yeah,
here
but
too.
Oregon fans are going to travel all the way there. That's different.
I know it's different. I'm just saying. I think Georgia's going to come rocking out. This is going to be their championship, and it's at home.
I don't think
So
it's.
Yeah,
I
it's,
think the
okay, that's
national
fine. We'll
championship.
see.
I think the playoff will be their chip. Also, I
What
mean,
do you mean?
Georgia could lose.
If Tennessee loses, you think you think they're in the 4?
no.
If Tennessee loses to Georgia, they could still make the playoffs. Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
As the 4 seed?
How?
think
Because
they
they're not going to
should.
be they're not going to be able to win the SEC then if Georgia runs the table.
Yeah, because well, I guess
I
they're
guess
gonna
it
be rooting
depends on
for
if
Georgia to beat
Bama.
Alabama,
That's what I was just going to say. If Georgia beats Bama in the national championship
and
or
then
in
what? It
the
would
SEC
be
championship,
so then it would be the winner of the ACC, so Clemson or North Carolina, Georgia,
Ohio
Clemson
State.
or
TCU.
North Carolina. You're saying first of all, you're saying Tennessee has no shot against Georgia, but you're saying North Carolina can beat Clemson in
No,
the
no, no,
ACC championship
no, no, no,
game.
no. I'm just playing it out. I'm just playing out the scenario. I'm just playing out the scenario. So whoever wins the ACC is one. Whoever wins Ohio State or Michigan, that's another, right? And let's just say Tennessee loses and Georgia runs the table. So then Georgia is obviously the third. And
We all
who's the
know
fourth?
the SEC is getting 2 teams, and we all know that Ohio State versus Michigan
Okay,
is
so let
going
me
to be
ask you
one of
this.
them.
Let me
Yeah.
ask you this. Who's the fourth team? Who's the fourth team? Is it Alabama with a couple losses? Is it Tennessee with a loss against Georgia? Or is it TCU undefeated?
It's
Or is it
it
Oregon
should be
undefeated?
well.
Well,
If
besides the Georgia
no,
game.
if TCU goes undefeated, I think they deserve to get in. If they go undefeated,
That's gonna
I
be
think
a crazy 4.
I think an undefeated team should get in.
What about you, Greg? What do you think? Who do you think gets that 4 spot in that scenario?
Yeah, I think if Clemson goes undefeated, I think they're in the conversation. I think if UNC
No. Well, Clemson. No, I'm saying you get the ACC champion.
Okay, so
All right, that's one.
I don't
You
think
get
it's the ACC championship. I think it's Clemson if they go undefeated or no one from the ACC. I don't think if like UNC wins the ACC championship, they're going to get in.
Wow. Okay, that would be crazy. That would suck so bad for them.
I mean, they have a couple losses on the season right now, right?
yeah, that'd be interesting though. So you think? Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think if Clemson loses, then it's like you're talking about 2 from the SEC, the winner of Michigan versus Ohio State, and then an undefeated TCU. I think if TCU loses, then I think you could look at 2 teams from the SEC and possibly even Michigan
and Ohio State, right? Yeah, I'm
If
thinking
that's
that
their
too.
only one
Okay.
loss between the two of them is playing against each other.
And it's the last game of the season too. So it's like right on everyone's
And
like
also,
neck.
too, you said Bama with a couple losses. I don't think so, dude. I think there's a chance LSU might get back in there. I mean, we got a lot to get into in this episode, so we'll talk about it. Bama and LSU
plays
later.
Bama.
Yeah, but dude, this is a big weekend for the SEC. This is the SEC East Championship and the SEC West Championship happening this Saturday. The winner of these 2 games, I really do believe, are going to play each other in the SEC Championship eventually.
All right, so I'll just go real quick. My last best bet here is Florida State. Florida State's is minus 7.5 here at Miami. I think Miami absolutely sucks. Miami has been burning everybody that even looks at them. Anytime anyone is excited about Miami, they suck. I love Florida State this year.
Dude, torch them. They stink.
The fact that they're huge road favorites is crazy, and I'm taking it. So I'm again. I know it's crazy. I'm riding with the favorites. I'm taking them. But yo,
I'm at Florida State too as well because to your point, Miami is just such a dumpster fire.
I hate them. I was all over them, dude. I'm looking at my futures. I just see ACC champ Miami, and it makes me sick. Like it makes me want to like break my phone.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into the games though. I know we usually go in order here, but we're talking about such a big weekend. Let's not stray too far away from that. So let's talk about the big games, right? So we mentioned Alabama, LSU here. Let's just get right into it, dude, because I'm telling you right now, the line is insane, and I hate LSU so much. But if I'm betting this game, I have to bet LSU, right? I hate them so much. I hate Brian Kelly. I hate LSU. And I know that Saban hates LSU. You know what I mean? So I want to ride with Bama so bad. What's your guys' take here?
I think everyone's thinking the same way you're thinking, and that's why I'm taking Alabama. I see, was it 68% of the bets on LSU? I see 60% of the money on LSU. I think the points are so high that people are like, oh, you got to take LSU. LSU's looked good the last few games. They're, is it, what's their record right now? 6-2, 4-1 though in the SEC. They're right at the top of the SEC, their division there with Alabama. So, dude, I think everything points to taking LSU, and that's why I'm taking Alabama minus 13.5. I'm not off Alabama yet. Bryce Young is the defending Heisman champion. Gibbs, I think, is the real deal out of the backfield. I think they got two good running backs. I've been saying that a while. It really comes down to their wide receivers if they can make plays, and they're going to have to make plays in this game. I like Alabama, man. I really do. I could be just my old gambling brain just stuck on Alabama for years now, just betting Alabama. The other thing that tipped me off a little bit, I was going to go, I see it at 13.5. I was going to take Alabama first half, my 6.5 is the best bet. But it's 7.5. So that kind of weirded me out a little bit. Like, why are you giving the extra point to LSU in the first half? Again, I think that's just a tactic to get people to bet LSU. I could be wrong. I could be tinfoil hat in this thing like crazy, but give me Bama minus 13.5 on the road.
Yeah. I mean, that's only I think our dumb gambling brains have connected on this game, because if I'm taking this game, it's probably going to be Bama in a parlay, so I'm not mad. You know what I mean? But it's going to be them like 13.5. Chip, what do you think, man?
Yeah, 100% Bama. I think
nighttime though in LSU, does that matter to anyone?
No. No.
I agree.
No.
I hate Brian Kelly so much. I agree with you guys.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a crazy environment. Don't get me wrong. Like, it is still LSU at night. I agree with that, but this LSU team, from what I've seen in the last few games, I just feel like they don't have the same bite that the real contendering LSU teams have. You know, they're good. Don't get me wrong. They're playing well for Brian Kelly now, even though it took him a couple of games to kind of get going here, but I'm not scared of them like I was, other LSU teams of the past.
Fair enough. Chip, this is where the rubber meets the road for you. Michigan at Rutgers. Michigan minus 25.5. Are you touching this game?
No.
Are you one of those guys to show up to, with one of those weird half jerseys?
This is
Michigan and Rutgers.
I don't have any interest but this game is weird.
No, it's not. Nothing's weird about this game.
This game is weird. I think Michigan's going to probably crush them.
Yes.
Or Rutgers could cover. I think all of the money is on Michigan.
Of course, yeah.
Which is why I don't want to bet Michigan. All of the money, all of the bets are on Michigan, which makes me not want to bet Michigan. And, I have to bet on Rutgers, I have to go through an entire system because I'm in Jersey. So it's
not worth it.
Yeah, it's not worth it when it's a 26-point spread. I'm like, it's not fun sweating that out.
Greg, what do you think? I don't even think you're gonna sweat it out. Greg, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
If I bet Rutgers, I would.
Yeah, we talked last week about the big spread against Michigan State and how it was just, even if the score is 40-14, you can still get a late touchdown and not cover. Rutgers, the offense has just looked so bad this season. I'm not as worried about it, but it's 26 points or 25 points, whatever it is.
25.5.
25.5. I'm not taking it because there's just so many points, and I think there's so many other better bets on the board because so much money is on Michigan. If this money was split like 50-50, then I probably would be betting Michigan, but because I see 83% of the bets, 85% of the money on Michigan, I'm not betting a public bet that's that heavy.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take it because this is one of those games, again, where they need to make a point to the committee Like
Yeah.
just in case they lose to Ohio State, like you know what I mean. From now on, they have to just start routing teams, and they have a bad schedule. They have to kill Rutgers. It can't even be within 3 touchdowns. You know what I mean? I can see this game maybe ending by 24 and being annoying, but I'm probably just going to touch Michigan here, just for some fun here. But any other huge games on your mind here before we just go through the slate in order?
No, nothing
Okay.
I
stand
don't
out to
think
me.
so.
Okay, so let's start at the 12 o'clock. We had the 11:30 covered with one of Chip's best bets. We got the under. But the 12 o'clock slate starts. Everyone's scrambling to make bets. You got Greg's Maryland, Wisconsin in there. I have to take North Carolina. I hate that it's 7.5. They're at Virginia. But dude, North Carolina's just been so good. And if I were to take Virginia, I would be screaming at myself all game about how I've been watching Virginia all year and they absolutely suck. Why on earth did I take them against a high flying hot North Carolina right now?
Yeah, I agree with you, John. I was thinking about honestly making UNC a best bet because I think the 7.5 to me indicates that like Vegas is trying to get you to bet Virginia because you're getting the hook at home. 80% of the money is on Virginia. I absolutely love UNC here in the noon slot. I think their offense is just too good, too powerful. So give me UNC as well.
I got Virginia plus 7.5.
Oh, Chip.
I've lost 3 Virginia games so far this year.
All right.
Eventually, they're going to cover for me.
Okay.
I feel like that's part of it.
You're due.
But
You're due
I
with
don't know
Virginia
what
bet?
I don't know what you're. I'm seeing 81% of the bets on Carolina,
Oh,
which was part of what went into it for me. I think we're looking at different sites.
Yeah, so 63% of the bets and 80% of the money.
Is on UNC.
No, 63% of the bets are on UNC and 80% of the money's on Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah, we're definitely looking at different sites. But yeah, definitely looking at different sites. No, I still like Virginia though. I also looked at the over. I may take the over too because I think I don't know more than anything, more than their offense is being good. Both defenses are bad. Although Carolina's defense has improved recently, it's just both defenses are not very good.
Yep.
So 60.5 is big. I think both teams could surpass. I think the over is a good look there too. But yeah, Virginia plus 7.5.
All right, opposite there. All right, Greg, give me a 12 o'clock game that you got your eye on here.
I've given you 2 so far, John. I'll give you a third. I love Purdue at home, minus 3.5 against Iowa. I had Iowa last week. That was one of my few easy set it and forget it bets. I think people are forgetting that Purdue has a good offense. Yes, I get that Iowa has a good defense. 80% of the money is on Iowa on the road. To me, I think that's absolutely crazy. I love Purdue at home, minus 3.5. I think the offense is good enough to put up a couple scores. I think it's going to be low scoring. Don't get me wrong. The over-under is 39 or 38.5, depending on where you're looking. I see 97% of the money on the under 39.5.
Mm-hmm.
I just like Purdue. I think they're going to be able to score a little bit.
I have no. You like Purdue as well, Chip?
Yeah.
All right.
I hate Iowa.
I know.
I hate them.
I'm gonna stay away from this game. I would, if I had to bet, I would take Purdue here, but I'm staying away. I'd probably take the under. If I also had, I'm probably staying away from. I've been staying away from Iowa ever since they burned me early. Chip, give me a 12 o'clock.
12 o'clock. Gave you Virginia already. How about over 55.5 in Ohio State Northwestern? I think Ohio State obviously puts up a ton of points. It's a 38-point spread, so I can't do that. But yeah, Ohio State scores a bunch of points. It's at Northwestern, but I think Ohio State's going to score a ton. I think Northwestern could get maybe a garbage time touchdown or 2 or something. And I think Ohio State could also cover that total on their own. Yeah, I think they could score 60. So again, you're talking, John, about prove it to the committee games for Michigan. I think Ohio State could feel the need to have to do that too.
Fair
And
enough.
Northwestern is a game where they could do that. I think they're going to run it up and score a bunch of points and try and prove like there's a little bit of a doubt about Ohio State right now. And I'm kind of one of those people that has doubt about them. So maybe this is a game where they try and run it up. And yeah, that's why I like the over here.
All right, I'm staying away from this game. Greg, do you have any thoughts here?
No, I'm staying away as well. I do agree that if I were to bet anything, it would probably be the over because the spread is so crazy. Um, but it worries me. Northwestern, they've been bad, but it just worries me. A noon kickoff at Northwestern. You're expecting to absolutely kill this team. I mean, look at the NFL game we got going on right now. Houston's putting up a fight because everyone expects Philly to kill Houston. I think that happens in these college games too. I think everyone in Ohio State knows they're going to win on Saturday, but are they going to score 40 points? Are they going to cover 30 and a half? I don't know. So I'm staying away. I was just looking at the team total over for Ohio State because I was thinking maybe I'll lean that way. It's 47 and a half. That's still pretty high for me. So it's a stay away from me, but I love Ohio State. I think they're going to keep rocking and rolling. I'll take them next week or another week when it's a better matchup.
Fair enough. I'm going with a game here. This should have been a best bet of mine. But honestly, I'm gonna bet it like it is a best bet of mine come Saturday, and it's TCU at home -8.5. I know the cover last game was a little fugazi.
Yep.
I'm with you there, but dude, this is disrespectful. Texas Tech stinks. I've been saying this week to week, and then you guys give me looks. They're 4-4. They suck, man. Week to week, they suck. TCU's getting disrespected. They need to go undefeated. They're gonna win this game, and everybody's on Texas Tech. Everybody's on. It's insane. I have no idea why. TCU is gonna win their conference, and honestly, they might get into the playoff if chaos ensues, and they're gonna get smoked in the playoffs, and it's gonna be a whole conversation about why expand. It's
Yeah.
that whole thing is coming, and I think TCU is going to be the catalyst there. They're going to absolutely kill Texas Tech. I like them first half. I like them full game. First half is under a touchdown. It's -6, 6.5 on FanDuel. That's the worst line of them all. Everywhere else is 6. I love TCU.
Yeah, this is one of the few games I'm riding with the public on this because I like betting Texas Tech. TCU's been a tough one for me. Dude, I'm going with the over 69.5. I think both these teams can score. I think TCU just had a down week last week, so I think they're looking to bounce back. I think it might have been a little look-ahead spot for them.
I like
I think
that.
I think they're going to get up
Yeah.
for it. I think both these teams are going to score. I don't think either of these teams have particularly good defense. So
70 points though, Greg.
yeah, that's an exciting
Okay.
one. I'm usually been an under guy, so I was thinking about it, but I said forget it. It's a noon game. Let's follow the public. Let's have some fun. Let's go for the
Fox.
over 70.
Fox game too.
Yeah.
You know what's up. All right.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna add the over on that one then. Too.
Yeah,
I
I'll
like
take
that.
it. I'll take that just for fun. But I love Tech. I love TCU, man. All right, Chip. You got any other 12 games?
I have two two
go.
more. Missouri money line against Kentucky.
Ooh.
I think it's a weird one. I think they're favored by 1 now. They're at home, and Kentucky.
Missouri's +1.5. I see it.
Oh, are they? Then I'll take Missouri +1.5. I thought they were -1.
Mhm.
Okay, then I'll take Missouri +1.5. I think it's. I just think Kentucky. I've been down on Kentucky all year long. I may add the under in that game too, because yeah, I'm down on Kentucky. We're seeing all this hype about Will Levis from like Mel Kiper or whatever. I'm just down on Kentucky, man. I think Missouri's they're riding high. They just beat South Carolina, right? I
Yeah.
think that's who they beat. Yeah. And that was a good win. And it was a rivalry game. I think, yeah, Missouri's actually not terrible for the first time in a long time. It's at home. I like Missouri in that one. And the other one, I got a lot of SEC games this week. The other one is the under in A&M versus Florida. No real like expert rationale. I think both teams are boring. They stink. I think Jimbo Fisher is boring. I think it's going to be a slow game. I don't know why it's so high at 55.5. I don't think they'll come anywhere close to that. So I think Jimbo Fisher coaches a slow, boring game, and I honestly don't care who wins but I think it'll be in a low scoring game. And yeah, I think that's a pretty easy under.
All right, so this is a really interesting game. The Tulane versus Tulsa. Tulane is ranked. This is the most lopsided against the spread game I've ever seen. Uh, Sometimes this website gets things wrong, so maybe you guys could fact check me, but I'm pretty sure Tulsa is 2-5-1 against the spread, which is 30%. And Tulane is 7-1 against the spread, which is 87.5 against the spread. I mean, that is the most lopsided like spread I've ever seen record. And that I have to take Tulane minus 7.5. I was liking Tulsa. I wanted the points. I have to take Tulane minus 7.5 just based on that. So I'm probably gonna take that. Any thoughts there
Dude, I've been
on the
agreeing.
Dukes game?
I've
The
been
Dukes game of the week.
Yeah, I mean, I've been a Green Wave guy all season. I love the jerseys. I say it every week. I'm gonna go with you, John. I was gonna stay away, but if you're jumping on, I'll jump on the Green Wave. I like Tulane here. I mean, they're ranked. They're playing good. I think they have a really strong defense. Um,
Such a crazy stat, right?
Scares me a little
I
bit.
did not know they were like that against the spread, dude.
Yeah.
87.5% against the spread. They lost one game against the spread.
Yeah, and they've been hot from the beginning of the season, man. They've been playing really good.
You know who it was too? It was to our boys, Southern Miss. That was my team all year too, which is hilarious.
But yeah, I like them. I know they're good against the spread. It was worrying me about Tulsa just because so much money's on Tulsa. 7.5 on the road's kind of tough. Tulsa, I think, is okay. They're not terrible. But yeah, give me Tulane in this defense. I think they keep it rocking. I think they keep it rolling by 7.5.
All right. Any other noon games, guys?
No.
Okay. I'm gonna touch the Temple at home plus 3.5 at the 2 o'clock versus USF. USF stinks.
Yeah.
They're one of the worst teams in the league. They're 1-7 straight up this year. 4-4 against the spread though. I'm taking Temple at home. Temple's been 62% against the spread. I'm gonna take money line too. I'm gonna take Temple on the money line. This is a fun 2 o'clock game that it's on ESPN Plus. I'll probably just be checking in and out of there. But anything else in the afternoons before we get to the large 3 o'clock slate here, guys?
No. I actually we've talked about all the games I have in the 3 o'clock slate. So what do you guys have going?
Yeah, I'm not sure if I have much more. Normally, I would take Cuse, but they're missing some. Garrett Williams is out for the season, their best defensive player, and now Schrader might not play their quarterback. So I don't know how confident I can be about taking Cuse. Yeah, we've talked about most of the games already. I'll probably bet Penn State versus Indiana. Penn State's minus 14 on the road against Indiana. I think I'll take Penn State coming off the bye and the loss. I think they'll win that one pretty handily. I don't know. Oak State after that last game, I can't. Oak State at Kansas. I think I'm staying away from that one.
What are you leading though? Where are you leaning though?
Leaning definitely the total because both those teams are weird. I would lean the over. So
Kind of like
I don't really trust either one of those teams.
yeah, I kind of like Kansas. This is the most. This is the rat line of the week.
I don't blame you because Oak State lost all of my trust. So
I'm touching Kansas here, but I have a really fun 3 o'clock bet that I can't wait to take, and it's my darling. We had just mentioned them, and Southern Miss at home against Georgia State. Georgia State stinks. Say it with me, guys. I've been saying it all year. Georgia State stinks. I love Southern Miss. The only thing is everybody loves Southern Miss in this game. Everybody's on it. I don't care. I love Southern Miss. Nothing will make me not take them, especially against Georgia State. These are the kinds of games I've been waiting for. This is why we watch Southern Miss during the year, so we can bet them against Georgia State. All right, like this is why. So So I can't wait to take that one. We talked about Michigan State, Illinois. Another one that I mean, honestly, we've been watching these teams all year, and I really should take it just out of like arrogance, and that's Oregon 31.5 over Colorado. I've been loving Oregon all year. They've been a cash machine. I've been so right about them. And Colorado, we've collectively been so right about how bad Colorado is.
Terrible.
This is such a lopsided game. I I I'm definitely going to take Oregon half and full, but I wouldn't recommend it. It's a lot of points, but I'm definitely taking it. I'm taking Stanford too. Do you guys have any thoughts on any of those games? Stanford, Washington State, Stanford at home plus 4.5. Taking Stanford there. Any thoughts about any of those two games?
Colorado covered last week. I had them. So, but I think they played someone terrible. I don't even remember who it was. No, that's a lot of points. I think Oregon, there's a chance Oregon may not care a little bit because Colorado is so terrible. But Stanford, Washington State.
Oregon needs games, man. Oregon needs to put statements on it. Or Oregon has
That's
that one
true.
loss, that big stain. But if Georgia's number one, if Georgia beats everyone, it's no longer a stain. I literally said that in August, right? Like I just said, it's week 0. Let Georgia beat Oregon. Oregon's gonna run the table the whole way after that, and they're gonna be like, "Look, it's the best team. They beat everyone, not just me. They beat every SEC. Then we all shouldn't get in." You know what I
Right,
mean?
yeah.
So, I think Oregon's gonna absolutely kill Colorado. I think this is gonna be bad news bears for Colorado. And my Bo Nix stock up on Mojo is gonna be flying high. He's got like 8 touchdowns.
Isn't he on the road though?
Yeah.
Oh, Bo Nix on the road.
Oh no, in Colorado.
He has to go into Colorado. I don't know.
Yeah, he might only win by 30. I honestly agree. I honestly agree with that. But the first half is 17. Not bad. 3 touchdowns in the first half. We can finagle that. Any thoughts on Stanford, Washington State?
I love Washington State. I really do.
Oh,
but
okay,
I don't know about in this game. I love them all year.
I've been definitely leaning Stanford this game. Okay, so maybe I'll stay away. Okay.
Yeah, I've loved
Stanford
Washington
just
State.
sucks.
I just don't know. I'm kind of falling out of love with Washington State a little bit.
Yeah, they've been very inconsistent. I will admit that, but Stanford has sucked. I know they beat they beat Notre Dame, right? At Notre Dame.
Yeah, double-digit underdogs. Right.
Yeah. But I don't know. Stanford. We talked like when we did the Pac-12 preview. We talked about how bad Stanford's been.
Yeah,
and they just haven't. They've proven us completely right, and I can't believe that Shaw guy still has a job. So you got a lame duck. I hate betting on lame duck coaches. I like fading lame duck coaches. So yeah, I don't know about that one.
Okay, that's fair. Another game that I like here is UAB at home versus UTSA. That's a 3:30. That's a money line game. I love UAB. I think they're gonna kill UTSA. This line makes no sense. They should be dogs at home by like 3.5, in my opinion. I love the money line here to pick them. I like UAB. Any thoughts here, or should we just move on to the late games?
No,
right.
I mean my initial thought when you
thoughts.
said that I kind of like UTSA. I'm surprised you have such a strong feeling about UAB. But
UTSA last week, I think they had a couple injuries,
Okay.
if I believe, but I got burned on UAB last week. I watched that game versus Florida Atlantic, but I kind of liked what I saw there.
yeah, Chip and I actually we joked about that. I was like, you got a pick for UAB Florida Atlantic? He's like, no, Florida Atlantic, no.
I know I listened to that.
Yeah.
So I had UAB there. So I guess I'm kind of just like riding with myself here.
Okay.
Just kind of like riding UAB. They haven't covered since I haven't covered in a while, huh?
I was gonna say, are you riding with yourself or are you chasing?
I'm 100% chasing.
All right. Those are
1000%
synonyms.
chasing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they covered against Charlotte, and that was fun. And
Yep.
then I've been riding them ever since because I like to ride. They covered. It was a crazy spread. It was 22.5 against Charlotte, and they covered that.
Yep.
So I was like, all right, like let's roll. And then they lost straight up to Western Kentucky. They were like 1.5 there, and then they lost to Florida Atlantic. And so I'm chasing it. Yeah, I
Okay.
am. I am. I think that they're gonna take UTSA. This line makes no sense.
Yeah.
It should be 3.5. I should be getting points.
At
I shouldn't.
least.
I shouldn't be taking them straight up. But that's what Vegas wants. That's what Vegas gets. I'll take him straight up. All right, you guys have anything else for these late games here?
No, next game I got 7 o'clock.
Let's go.
I'm just that the only one the only other one. Let's just move on quick. I'm taking Navy. I'm fading Cincy because Cincy's been terrible against the spread, and I've lost on him a couple of times. They're still legit. I just for whatever they're not blowing teams out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So and Navy's 19.5, I think, on the road. I know, but I like the idea of fading Cincy right now.
Okay, I faded Cincy last week, and that was a nice cash for me.
Yeah.
Are you guys still touching in Texas?
Yeah, I like the over. That's my last 7 o'clock game.
Go ahead, talk to us.
Over
Texas,
50,
Kansas
54.5. I just think that both these teams are kind of on a similar path here. I think both offenses are pretty good. I can't trust Texas. I want to bet Texas, but I can't trust them. 94% of the money is on Texas, minus 2.5 on the road. I hate road favorites. I hate 94%. But I just don't know if I can bet K-State plus 2.5. Like I said, I think both these teams are going to be okay. 54.5. I thought the total was a little low. K-State maybe a letdown game after absolutely killing Oak State last week, 48-0. So maybe there's a little bit of a letdown spot. But dude, Texas is averaging 36 points a game. K-State 31 points a game. I just think that both these teams are going to be able to score. It's the big, it's just what these teams do. So I'm going with the over 54.5.
All right, Chip. Any thoughts on the Texas Kansas State? I'm riding with Texas here just because I do not believe in Kansas State, but everyone's on Texas, so I don't love it. But if I had to, that's what I'm taking. Yeah,
you don't believe in Kansas State after last week?
Yeah, I like Texas, man. It's one of those games where this is where Texas comes through, and then they get everybody excited. Right, going into Thanksgiving when they're trying to figure out the bowls. Texas is gonna win.
That's a good point too. It's that thing where Texas back, then they lose 3 games, and now that they have no chance at being back, now they go off and rattle off a bunch of wins and look amazing, and then all of a sudden it gets the hype going for next season.
Next game's
Arch is enrolling early.
Yeah,
in January.
Next game's TCU. I think I'm gonna ride Texas for these next 2 games.
Yeah,
I'm taking TCU this week, and I wonder how the line's gonna be. If it's insane, I'm gonna ride with TCU. But like if Texas is getting like 7.5 or something like that, like TCU's been giving up the last couple of weeks, I'm gonna ride with Texas next week again. So yeah, I think Texas is gonna be back for the last 4 games at Kansas State.
Texas is gonna be back for 4 games.
100%. This is it. This is it for them, man. Because again, then it's gonna be the whole Manning situation, like you guys just mentioned. They're going to Kansas State, and then they're at home versus TCU, they're at Kansas, and then they're at home versus Baylor. Like they're gonna, they can beat TCU. We'll see. So yeah, Texas is back for these next 4 games. Put that on my tombstone. Anything else for these 7 o'clocks, Chip? I know you got something here.
I mean, you have to bet the Clemson Notre Dame game, and I'm leaning Notre Dame right now, plus 3.5.
Disgusting.
I like that.
Yeah, my best.
I like that.
Yeah. No, that's disgusting.
I lean in Notre Dame. I said I haven't decided yet. But
lean all you want, dude. It's a bad bet. I'll take that bet.
All right.
I'll take your Notre Dame bet. Venmo me, bro.
The ones I know I'm taking. I know I'm taking Florida State minus 7.5.
Yes,
Miami's garbage.
Yes.
Miami's absolute garbage.
Yes.
And I like Auburn plus 12.5 on the road against Mississippi State. The fired coach bump. Mississippi State has completely let me down this year. I thought they were going to be much better than they are. They are a disappointment. I guess I shouldn't have been surprised, but Yeah, I mean, obviously it's not as much Mississippi State as much as it is Auburn. I think they'll get, like I said, the fired coach bump. It happens. So yeah, plus 12 and a half is a lot. And I don't think Mississippi State's a great team. If they were playing against a better team, I probably wouldn't take them. But yeah, I like Auburn.
All right.
That's a good little tidbit. I might be taking that come Saturday. Follow us on Winning P Weekly on Twitter, Chip Murphy 7 on Twitter. See all our bets as we tweet them out, as we talk about them. Because I agree, interim coach bump, that's been a thing this year. It's been a thing every year.
Yeah,
Mississippi State's just not very good.
Yeah.
they stink.
All right. Speaking of teams who stink, another preseason darling for me was NC State. But everyone's injured.
Oh,
They stink. I can't believe that they're 22 and Wake Forest is 21. That's insane. I hate that Wake Forest is getting 4.5, like minus 4.5. I feel like that's a lot, but where I'm riding with Sam Hartman till the death right now. I think he's going to be a real NFL quarterback too. So I am like all the way in on
really?
Sam Hartman. Yeah, dude.
Good.
I think if he was on a
Good.
real
I
team,
love him. I love him.
dude. If he was on a real team, like if he goes to the Giants, that he'd be perfect over there. Like, don't turn the ball over, don't do too much, run the ball. I have an actual defense. Like you don't have to throw 8 touchdowns and be down by 7. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I really do think he's good. I think NC State is very, very fraudulent. So
Well, they're fraudulent now that their quarterback is out for the season.
yeah, but they've been fraudulent all year, man.
They've been
There's
good
a
at
couple
home,
of
they've
games
been bad on
early.
the road.
Yeah.
If Leary was healthy, I think they would have had a legit chance to win the ACC. I do think that.
Yeah, I mean, I had them, and they're 3-5 against the spread. So they've been pissing me off all year. They've been like honestly, since day one, they really annoyed the hell out of me. They didn't even cover versus Clemson. That was the game I was really looking forward to them covering. And I had the money line.
The bottom
there.
line is NC State's playing their backup quarterback, and he sucks. It's been proven he's bad. He's really bad.
Yeah, it's NC State. I mean, listen, you're gonna fade NC State this week. Take them the next 2 weeks. Boston College and Louisville, and then take North Carolina last game of the season.
You said it's minus 4,
that's
minus
all.
4.5.
I see 4.5 right now.
I'm taking it as well. Huge bounce back spot
Yeah.
for Wake. I agree.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're right. Okay, I'm adding Wake too. Plus, I love Sam
Let's
Hartman.
go, boys. Let's
Yeah,
go.
me too.
All right.
I love
We're
him.
all on Wake. All three of us on Wake.
Perfect.
Scary, but I've been on them all year, so I don't even think you guys could shame me off Sam Hartman. Right now.
Hey, I've been on Wake all year too.
Dude, you were the number one. You're the one that told me that Sam. You're
Love
the
Sam.
first guy to say Sam Hartman's injury is not a big deal.
Love
I
him.
thought he was dead. You're the first guy. You're like, no.
It was weird the way it was reported. It was like, oh, he may never play football again or something. And then
Yeah,
it was
that's what I
like,
thought. And you were like, dude, he's coming
it
back
was
in 2
very
weeks.
ominous. And then it was kind of like, wait a minute, he's really good. I think they're probably just being careful. And
Yeah, you got your credit.
that's
there.
what it turned out to be.
You got your credit there.
Yeah.
Just for the Pac-12 conversation, I legitimately cannot wait for UCLA to beat USC, and I can't wait to be there.
Oh my
And so I'm just
God.
prepping for that game. I love UCLA. I can't believe it's 10.5 versus Arizona State. I'm probably gonna take that first half night game. First half minus 6.5 on FanDuel, minus 7 everywhere else. I'm gonna take UCLA. Just hang out. Hopefully the first half hits. I don't know if I could take USC first half at minus 12, minus 13. It's a lot, but maybe I'll touch that as well. But dude, I cannot wait for UCLA to beat USC in a couple weeks, and then Oregon to beat UCLA in the championship. Oh, it's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna be exactly how he wrote it. And speaking of, I hate Utah. I watched Utah so much. I hate them so much. If it wasn't Arizona, I would take the 17.5, but I just can't bet Arizona. But damn it, I hate Utah. So
Yeah.
What sport are we talking about? UCLA beating USC? What are
the
we still
football.
doing a college football podcast?
yeah, the
Okay.
college football podcast.
Okay. I
Yep.
thought we'd switch to college basketball for a
No,
second.
no. We're talking college football, my
Okay.
friend.
Okay.
You love USC, huh? You love them.
I mean, I need them to win the national championship. So
Dude, they should have lost to Utah. And Utah stinks.
Utah doesn't stink.
Oh my god. I watching Utah last week honestly made me want to throw up at least 4 times. at least 4 times. All
Who did
right.
they play last week?
I don't even
Um,
remember.
they fumbled.
Oh,
They
Washington State. Washington
yeah,
State.
Washington State. They
Yeah.
fumbled a zillion times. Oh my goodness, that game was. That's why I was fading Washington State this week. By the way, with Stanford. But you
Say
guys
lost
kind
to a top 10 team or top 15 team. Utah's still in that one of the 15 or not top 10, but one of the 15 best teams in the country, I think.
okay. I hope they lose straight up to Arizona. They suck.
Okay. Well, you're not going to get your wish there. At home against Arizona.
That'd be hilarious too. They're so bad. They pissed me off last week. Anything else, guys, before we sign out of here?
I got one last bet.
Close
I don't
this
know.
out.
I don't know
Go
if
for it.
Chip, what do you got? You got anything else?
I
Or
like
is
USC,
ready to
man.
close this out?
Just while we were talking, I just decided to add UConn over UMass. I'm like, fuck it.
Oh,
Whatever.
whatever. That's
Really?
disgusting.
Is it 15, 16 points?
Yeah. I just decided I'm with Jim Mora. I'm taking UConn. I don't want to take Duke because I don't want to jinx them. I want them to win, and that's a lot. And I've faded Boston College for weeks now, and I'm very confident they'll lose. But I don't want to jinx Duke, so I'm not doing that to them.
Fair.
But I'm taking UConn because I got to bet at least one game on Friday.
Yeah, this late window right now. I just like USC minus 21. Hosting
All right.
Cal.
Oh, I think I might take that first half. And parlay that with the
That might be
UCLA.
if I'm having a good Saturday. I might do that. I might do UCLA, USC, and someone else first half in the late window there, just because give me a little action before midnight.
Yo, did the Magic just beat Golden State?
Paolo, what did he do?
Maybe.
Dude, I'm pretty sure, and I could have live bet that. Oh my god, I hate myself. I actually hate myself. I was staring at that live bet it was like plus 1,700, plus 4,000 at some point.
Really?
Orlando came back and won that game. Wow.
Jalen Suggs, 26 points.
And OKC is coming back as well. Wow.
Paolo, 22 points.
I'm telling you,
Thursday-
we should be live betting, John. We should be live betting NBA.
I was today. I was today.
We should be doing it.
Yo, Thursday I know this is bonus time, but Thursday night NBA when there's just two games on, they're about to go travel,
Yeah.
and Sunday night NBA or Sunday in general NBA, the wackiest games, the wackiest.
Just when there's nothing else on.
No, it's because the players are that's their like the NBA they usually have like only two games on a Thursday because they're traveling for the weekend, and Sunday they're usually traveling somewhere else to start the week. Like that's usually how their schedules play out. Thursday games end up being so weird, and Sunday games are so weird. Like Orlando beating Golden State on a Thursday, like it makes sense. Like OKC beats Denver today, like I totally see it. Friday, everything back to normal. You know what I mean? Friday night basketball, full slate, everything back. I don't know. It's just something I've been picking up.
Yeah, I don't know if it's because it's back to backs or what exactly. I'm looking.
Orlando won, and they missed 13 free throws, and they still won.
Dude, Orlando first half were getting absolutely mauled. Like it wasn't even close.
Steph had 39.
Yeah, Steph went nuts. I haven't faced basketball. I'm an idiot. I was just looking at my bets for tonight. I did not take a solo home run bet. I thought I did for $50 again. So I'm pissed. Schwarber hit a home run. I need Harper to hit a home run. But I did not take it as a standalone bet. I don't know why I did that. So I am so mad at myself right now. Because I need fucking Eagles to score. And it's 14-14 at half. And they're not scoring. I need them to score, so we'll see. Sweating out bets. You can follow us, Winning Peak Weekly on Twitter, Chip Murphy7 on Twitter, Jay Meleka on Twitter. We're sweating them out here on the pod, on the YouTube. We're also sweating them out on Twitter.
Greg, listen to this.
Looking at
this bet.
Bull's stats on his box score right now.
read them to me in a second, but guys, listen to this. Listen to this live bet that I have right now. It's. This is a tough one. This part, UTEP plus 3.5. They're down 7 right now.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay Lightning tied 3-3. Probably going to go into overtime. I have them money line. Orlando Magic plus 13.5. All right, that hit.
That's nice.
Set Ottawa Senators plus 2.5. They're down by 1 with 4 minutes left in the third period. Perfect. Coastal Carolina money line up 7. Bruins minus 1.5. Sorry, Rangers, but they're down 4-2.
Yeah.
Canadians. Oh, Canadians have -1.5. It's 2-2 going into the third. That one's a tough one.
Okay.
And
Still
and Thunder money line was +540. They're down 5 now, and that's $1 to win 700.
love it. Love
So I
it.
just need OKC to finish, come through, and Canadians to go crazy, and UTEP to finish it. Wow, interesting. All right, well, this is a bonus section
Yeah.
of
A little
Winning Picks
bonus
Weekly.
episode. Yep.
Nick, oh, this is what we do. This is why we do this, because we're just betting ourselves, and we're just talking it out. And we're glad you're listening. At Chip Murphy 7, at Winning P Weekly, Knicks come, Jets come, ETC period on YouTube. Here's with the like, here's with the share. We had Connor Hughes on for the Jets episode. Alex from Knicks Fan TV. Obviously, we have the Knicks recaps. Hit us up. Let us know what you got. Greg, any last thoughts?
No, incredible interview with Connor Hughes. You guys did a great job. It was very cool for him to come on. Happy for another weekend of gambling coming up. Again, like and comment. Let us know what you guys are taking this weekend because we want to talk about gambling. We want to know what you're betting so we can tell and we can interact. And we'll see you next week.
We out.